Today, the whole world is on dating apps. These apps may introduce you to your potential partner or someone who may end up breaking your heart. And we all fear opening up to someone and then getting our hopes crushed. The easiest way to escape all this trouble is by noticing the unpleasant and manipulative behavior or red flags on the first few dates. You can do so by taking a glimpse at our guide about common red flags to look out for when you're dating. Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. In today's video, we'll converse about the red flags that you ought to avoid on your first date. Let's head straight away. If you've been swiping on dating apps recently, you've probably noticed that the bios of your potential matches are littered with the red flag emoji. This year, it was one of the most frequently used emojis in Tinder bios, according to the app's data. Some red flags are pretty specific to the person, think don't love dogs, but others are commonly held. And all of them can thwart your attempt at a long-term partnership, something many singles express wanting this year before it even begins. Number 1, they don't respect your boundaries. Pay attention to how your date responds when they don't get what they want, or when you express a preference for something they disagree with. The way someone else reacts to your boundaries is very telling. Do they treat you with respect or violate your boundaries without consideration for how you feel? Here are some examples of what it can look like if someone is not respecting your boundaries on the first date. You say that you don't want to have another drink and they order one for you anyway. You say you need to head back home because you have an early day tomorrow and they try to convince you to stay longer. They try to kiss you and you express that you're not comfortable with that. They respond by becoming defensive, angry, or trying to make you feel guilty about your response. If they insist on picking you up, going for a walk at night in a secluded area, or meeting in an area that would require you to take public transportation late at night, and you tell them you prefer to try another option because you'll feel safer, but they respond defensively or indicate that you are overreacting, this is a red flag that they are not going to take your needs or comfort into consideration moving forward. If your date is going well, it's likely you'd want to spend some more time together. Being mindful of a date's safety and comfort is quite attractive, in our opinion. Number 2, blaming your ex. We all have exes. We don't all blame everything on our exes without taking responsibility for our decisions. If every ex you had was a terrible person, your date is going to start wondering why that is. Are you not learning from your experiences? If the only side of the story they hear casts you as the victim of a string of heartless former lovers, all they're hearing is that you aren't interested in accountability or personal growth. They don't want to be the villain in your next story, so they'll probably take a hard pass on a relationship. They refer to one or more of their ex-partners as crazy. Discussion of ex-partners is not usually a great first date topic in general, but if it does come up and your date is calling an ex-partner crazy or discussing them in a disparaging manner, it demonstrates that they're unlikely to take accountability for their actions and wouldn't with you either. Number 3, rudeness to servers. This one is big. In fact, if you're rude to anyone during the date, you should expect this to be factored into their conclusions. Bullying servers won't get you far and could make your date wish they'd stayed home to binge watch Netflix instead. It doesn't matter how kind your date is to you if they're treating the people around them poorly. Are they complaining that the service is bad, saying that they don't want to pay a tip, or being condescending to the bartender or waitstaff? You're getting a front row seat view of how this person treats others, and if it's not with kindness, then you'll likely be on the receiving end of that behavior soon enough. Being rude in general to any service person is one of the biggest and well-known red flags in dating. Everyone is known to at least try to put their best foot forward towards the person they are interested in. However, in theory, a person's true personality tends to show when they are speaking to someone they do not know. Furthermore, also in theory, a person's true nature shows after knowing them for some time. So if a person is nice to a date but rude to a server, especially if the server did not make any mistakes, is likely to be a rude person down the line. If your date is willing to be rude to your waiter by either snapping his fingers or dismissing the waiter with a wave of his hand, either he has an issue with power or simply doesn't understand that we're all on this planet together. Decent, common courtesy is a harbinger of good things when looking for a mate. The lack of it is a big red flag. If your date is willing to treat a waiter with such little respect, then someday he'll be waiting to treat you like that. Number 4, they talk about themselves the whole time. Is your date talking at you or with you? There's a difference. When someone is talking to you, they're talking about themselves and not asking you any questions or allowing you space for you to share more about yourself. It almost feels like it wouldn't matter if you were there or not. It's difficult to build an emotional connection or feel close to someone when you don't feel seen or heard. On the other hand, when someone is talking with you instead of at you, it's similar to a ping pong ball being hit back and forth. Your date asks you a question, then sends the ball to you. You respond and ask your date a question, then hit the ball back to them, and so on. They're trying to speed up the pace of getting to know you too quickly. Are they talking about the future and all the things you two would do together, events that you'll go to, and places you'll visit? It may feel nice and exciting at first, but they don't actually know you. So talking about all these plans for the future can give you a false sense of security, which can cause you to overlook other red flags. People easily sense desperation. If you just want to update your relationship status and don't care with who, we'll pick up on it. Expect a date to go running for the hills if you try to figure out where you stand while you're still getting to know each other. Rushing the relationship faster than the other person is comfortable with is like a parade of red flags being accompanied by a marching band. Are they going on and on about themselves? Or are they not asking questions and giving you a chance to talk? It could be a red flag. What's also a red flag is asking too many questions. You don't want to feel like you're being interviewed. Knowing when to stop talking about oneself and passing the mic is a green flag. A first date is quite exploratory, and it's important that both people get an equal chance to genuinely talk and listen. If all they have to their personality is their swanky car or their weekend parties, abort mission. Number 5, they bring up the topic of sex. The topic will come up eventually if you begin a relationship, but if it comes up this early on, it's usually not a great sign. It's not so much the topic of sex that's the issue, it's that the person chose to bring it up on the date without knowing your level of comfort. Someone who cares about getting to know you and is taking your comfort into consideration is unlikely to discuss sex on the first date. While this topic will come up eventually, as it should, it might not be a first date conversation for most. If they're pushy about this topic, or worse, want to sleep with you after the first date, it's not a good sign, particularly if you're looking for a long-term connection and they only have a casual one. Number 6, they frequently check their phone or take calls. Unless it's an urgent situation, if your date is distracted and frequently checking their phone or taking calls during your date, it shows that they are not taking your feelings into consideration and may have difficulty being fully present if you decide to proceed. If you spend more time checking your notifications than checking out your date, don't be surprised when the date doesn't bother to finish the drinks or asks for a to-go box for the dinner that could be enjoyed at home while you finish your conversation or text. Hope this video added some value to your thoughts. Do share your views in the comment section below. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do so and hit the notification bell See you in the next video.